I ended up falling asleep in the middle of the day this time, so now I can have the intended background effect as you can see behind me. Looks like I'm in some room spinning. It's like my mind's dizziness, but it's like it's a weird form. Anyways, though, the point being, in the dream that I just had, unfortunately I keep losing memories of it as I stay awake. It's like a very common problem with dreams. But one of the first things that I end up knowing, is the first things that are known, I should say, is that I think that we were like planning on moving to some house in my dream. But we had to stay in some sort of hotel temporarily. It kind of reminds me of real life, except instead of a house it was a trailer, obviously. But there was like this hotel in the middle of the city. Like you looked out the window and you just see buildings. The weird things about this hotel was its doors, and there was like this window beside the door, like from the outside to be to the right of the door, and vice versa. And what kind of worried me was whenever you got into that room, you basically were stuck in there. Someone could probably trap you in there if they locked you in there. So it was a fear I always had. What if something was to happen? However, though, there were also other things that freaked me out, like looking out the window and knowing I was like a few stories above the ground. That was scary as well. My mind's dizziness, I think it was actually recreated in the dream, so it would start up if I focused too much on the outside. Yeah, another thing that I haven't told you all that I've said on Facebook is that it seems that whenever I'm sleeping, my mind can recreate the things that it does when I'm awake. By this I mean, it can recreate the dizziness, and at a later part of the stream, the itches. I'm not talking about natural itches. I mean, basically, my mind is able to create itches on me for no reason. They're annoying and they have a pretty unique feeling. I kinda wish they didn't exist, but sadly they do. Just like one wish I call some papers. But even those itches, as useless as they are, happen to also be recreated in dreams. But at this point, there was only the dizziness. It then ends up, keep going from here, then I'm not quite sure what the rest of the building was like or anything. I just know that things outside that window were matching up with the height of my room. I keep thinking the number 4. Is this the 4th floor? If it's the 4th floor, it reminds me of that weird thing in Japanese where 4 is the same word as death or something. It's like the whole 13 thing over here. But it might just be me. Was this a 4th floor thing? Don't know, I've seen more weird rooms you can get locked up and then it has a number 4 on it. Yeah, can't even break through the glass. But still, let's explain the other parts of the dream, even though I don't know what order I end up going. Basically, there was another part where I think we were in some sort of store. And this place was basically like, really like, secure. Because we already know the rooms are really hard to break out of or to break into. But that really hard to break glass and metal doors, and even a metal key really couldn't break. I know, keys are already that way, they already have metal, but I don't know, I remember the keys were like really hard to break too. Like, they were like thicker, they had this wider look to them from what I can remember. So yeah, they also have a strange lock system. Well, in this stream there was me, Moa, and someone you all will now know as Scott. Pretty sure he appeared somewhere. What is strange here is I think that maybe Scott and a bunch of other random people in the building were all like, I just don't remember Moa being involved with it, but whoever they were messing around, trying to like bend the keys or get them off the shelves in the store. They were up against a wall and they were like, hey, let's try to break these things. And I was like, do you all want to get caught? They'll probably catch you if they find you breaking their keys and trying to find ways to get out of your rooms. Yeah, this hotel's weird. What is it, a hotel or a jail? Don't know, it doesn't have jail bars. Apparently they don't even have those anymore. It's kind of stupid. Well, what was this thing? It doesn't really matter. Because also, another part of the dream, I'll get back to the store in a second, because I don't know if this is directly connected to the other store part. It must have been. But at a different part in the dream, I was just in this one room, and there was like this CD-based game, and apparently I was playing its music? Well, at first it was just the game. I could hear the game, and meanwhile I was thinking one thing. Is the music pre-rendered CD audio? Is it pre-rendered formats? I keep thinking it might be like a PlayStation type of game, so you know how there's games that CD audio they could put on at any moment. I was thinking, is this sequenced or is it pre-rendered? If it's pre-rendered, I don't care about it. It must be sequenced. I prefer sequenced audio, and it's unfortunate that that format's basically almost died, because developers love their little DAWs. But still, I digress. Even I have had to resort to pre-rendered audio whenever I made like those cool cadence of things, or the Wasn't Wall Dog, because I applied too many effects. Those cannot be put in a sequence file. But don't worry, Mary's Magical Adventure will probably be sequenced for as long as it can. But that's not the whole point. Because the weird thing is, all of a sudden a new song started playing, so I think this was like Fubar 2000, because let's just switch over to the desktop. On my Fubar 2000, whenever a new song starts playing, its title appears in the corner in blue letters. I think this appeared in my dream. So whenever I heard the new song start playing, I think what's weird is it originally was a game system, but all of a sudden it started becoming a laptop playing the video game music. And I looked and I saw the game had a very small title. It was only like, what, 4 to 5 letters? Again, you can probably expect that I do not remember the name of that game. Yes, I do not remember it, so unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to look up if such a game existed and if it used pre-rendered audio or something. Still not a fan of that, thanks CDs. But, I digress yet again, I just am really not a fan of pre-rendered audio. However, though, it's really hard not to rant about that audio format sequence. But then afterwards I was like, that name, interesting, and then I started walking away. Why didn't I, like, download its PSF thing, and then find out if it was sequenced or pre-rendered? Still don't know if this is connected to the other store part, but we'll get back to the store now. So at the strange store, you could buy these little colored shape things. I don't know if I'm thinking about that thing that I used earlier. That one thing. Tinkercad or TinkerCAD. Let's just load that up. And tinker this. Because if you look at this list on the side, it's a bunch of shapes with different colors. I remember a blue one, and suspicious, the cyan one is a similar color. And, okay, that's suspicious. Is this supposed to be like Tinkercad or TinkerCAD or something? Oh no. But I like accidentally picked up multiple ones, and since this place was so secure already, this guard came out of nowhere. He was like behind some sort of counter or something. And he was like, where did these come from? Did all of these come from the same location as that one? The one you're trying to purchase? And I was like, yes. And they was like, return the other ones now. Like, he sounded somewhat mean or serious. That's not the type of guard that you'd ever want to talk to. But, so then he basically demanded that I return them to their place, but I couldn't remember where. Don't know what happened after that. But now, we'll now move on to the last part. All of a sudden, there was a strange game. Basically, you played as this guy. I don't know if it was anything related to Doom or not, but during this game, you had to like attack these monsters, and you had different strange weapons. I think some of them were ordinary guns, but some of them were not. At one point, I gained this sort of power-up and could jump over a wall instead of having to wait for it. It was like a bunch of bars, but they were raised from the ground up. So then, whenever I reached the last area, there was this like big monster just laying down on the ground, and I decided I want to start beating him up. So I started bringing out these weird weapons, like this giant thing. I sometimes thought of dropping it on him, but I was like, nah. Don't remember what all the weapons did, but there was like this, I think it was sort of this, I don't know if it was a big weapon or not anymore. My mind messes with it, of course, but it could have been some sort of big weapon where it would fire this red laser type of thing that would fly at the enemy, and you could charge it up in a little red meter made out of bars, like these red vertically oriented rectangles, like there's old TV effects and all that, you know, the old TV volume meters. Yeah, those could appear, only it was red, and it looked like all serious. And there were different levels that you could charge it up to, and whenever it was charged up, it would go boom. It would like make this like really strange noise. I've never heard a charged weapon in a game make such a quiet noise when it was fully charged. But then I kept shooting lasers at it, but it just wouldn't die. I then switched to this big like thing that looked like a monster in itself. Don't know if I'm mixing them up or not, but oh well. And you could end up firing these like seeds at the monster, and then like this little like seed icon would pop up above where its fur was or whatever. Again, it's hard to tell for sure if it was fur or not, but I think there's fur on it. Well, I'm not messing with it, as we know. So then a bunch of seed icons would appear, and then whenever I did, the monster started moving slightly, and I was like, oh no, I have to kill it before it gets up. But then all of a sudden, you know those stupid itches I brought up? Yeah, the itches occurred. So my mind's stupid random itches started appearing in the dream, and they started throwing me off while I was trying to zoom in on some part of the interface, trying to find out where where this option I haven't used before, like to get a different weapon or something, I guess, but I had to zoom in on a map, and then it started itching. A bit later I woke up, but still. Don't know if those pointless itches would screw me up at trying to find something, but they usually get me when I'm on the computer, usually when I'm being precise. Or I'll start hearing noises or something. Still though, that's that dream. It's kind of a strange one, but maybe it was strange enough that it would be memorable, so I can make a video on it and demonstrate the transparent room effect. I don't have a green screen, or I'd probably be doing Xane module. I mean, I do have a green screen somewhere, but once I have that thing on hand, we can do things like Xane module, I bet. I'm pretty sure that it might have played in a dream, but it was in some different sound, like it had a slightly different sound to it. But yes, Spring Jazz may have played in a dream. That technically makes it a dream song, as I would call it. But still, that was this dream.